What if we were told that the most precious moments of our lives are the ones we often sleep through? We spend our days busy, distracted, occupied with work and responsibilities and social life. But before dawn, when the world is silent and still, there's a sacred window of opportunity to connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a way that no other time allows. Are we awake to the blessings of these moments, or are we letting them pass us by? Are we using this quiet time to nourish our souls, or are we sleeping through some of the greatest opportunities for spiritual growth? Today's supplication is a powerful call to awaken, to recognize the blessings hidden in the early hours of the morning, to seek the light of divine guidance, to allow every part of our being to walk in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's radiance. Because the truth is, those who rise before dawn to seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the ones whose hearts are truly alive. Let's explore how this dua teaches us to seek the spiritual wealth of pre-dawn worship. On day 18 of the holy month of Ramadan, we recite the following supplication. Allahumma nabbihni fihi li barakati asharih, wa nawwir fihi qalbi bi diya'i anwarih, wa khudh bi kulli a'dha'i ila ittiba'i atharihi bi nurika ya munawwira qulub al-arifin. O God, awaken me in it to the blessings of its early mornings. Illuminate my heart in it with the radiance of its lights, and lead every part of my body to seek out its effects by your light, O illuminator of the hearts of those who know. This supplication calls our attention to a powerful yet often overlooked time, the pre-dawn hours. It's a time of quiet reflection. It's a time when distractions fade away. It's a time when the sincere rise to seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy. The Holy Quran describes the people who take advantage of these moments. It says, إِنَّ الْمُتَّقِينَ فِي جَنَّاتٍ وَعُيُونٍ آخِذِينَ مَا آتَاهُمْ رَبُّهُمْ إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا قَبْلَ ذَلِكَ مُحْسِنِينَ كَانُوا قَلِيلًا مِنَ اللَّيْلِ مَا يَهْجَعُونَ وَبِالْأَسْحَارِ هُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. Indeed, the righteous will be amid gardens and springs, taking joy in that which their Lord has given them. Truly, they were virtuous before then. Little of the night did they used to lie down, and in the pre-dawns they would pray for forgiveness. Those who wake up before dawn are the ones who are closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They use this time to seek His forgiveness and to reflect and to humble themselves. The Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him and his holy family, beautifully described this moment. Indeed, he says, when a servant turns to his Lord in the depths of the darkness of the night, speaking to him intimately, God anchors the light in his heart. Are we allowing this light to enter our hearts? Are we taking advantage of this time? Or are we sleeping through our greatest spiritual opportunities? Many of us are perhaps doing the recommended act of waking up before dawn during this holy month of Ramadan, because this fits into our lifestyle and in order to eat a bite before the beginning of our fast. This should become a habit that we try to maintain after the end of the holy month, and around which we can structure our days. How beautiful is it for us to start every day with the remembrance of God before the break of dawn, before tackling our days, with the light and the strength of this connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This supplication asks, وَنَوِّرْ فِيهِ قَلْبِي بِضِيَاءِ أَنْوَارِهِ. Illuminate my heart in it with the radiance of its lights. What kind of light is this? How do we receive it? The Holy Quran teaches us, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجْعَلِ اللَّهُ لَهُ نُورًا فَمَا لَهُ مِن نُورٍ. And whoever God does not bless with light, then he shall not find any light. This light is the ability to see truth clearly. It is the wisdom to make the right choices. It is the divine insight that allows us to stay guided. Imam Ali, peace and blessings be upon him, explains, The one who devotes himself to the pre-dawn hours, his heart is illuminated and his soul is purified. How often do we wake up before dawn for our dunya, but neglect it for our akhirah? We sacrifice sleep for work, for studies, for responsibilities. Why not for our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? This supplication reminds us that light comes to those who seek it, especially in the silent moments before dawn. The supplication then continues, وَخُذْ بِكُلِّ أَعْضَاءِ إِلَى اتِّبَاعِ آثَارِهِ, and lead every part of our bodies to seek out its effects. True faith isn't just in the heart, it manifests in all of our actions. The more we are spiritually awake, the more our entire body follows suit. Our tongues, they turn to dhikr. Our hands, they reach out for good deeds. Our feet, they walk toward all that is righteous. There is a great scholar in our tradition who used to take his children to the shrine of Imam Ali alayhi salam in the holy city of Najaf pre-dawn, and he would teach them a lesson, telling them, look around. Just as you see those who are poor rising early to seek their livelihood, so we must rise early to seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and our spiritual livelihood. How much effort do we put into our worldly success compared to our spiritual success? Are we letting laziness keep us from opportunities that could change our souls forever? Ultimately, do we consider our connection with God a priority in our daily lives? This dua teaches us that the early hours of the morning are spiritually priceless. The light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is given to those who seek that light through their sincerity. That faith must be embodied in action. Our whole being should move towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Are we awake to the blessings of pre-dawn, or are we letting them slip away? Are we seeking the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to illuminate our hearts? Are we allowing our actions to follow the path of those who are righteous? For many of us, waking up at this hour is something that we only do, unfortunately, during the holy month of Ramadan. Let's change that. Let's make this a habit beyond the holy month. Let's turn this supplication into a reality in our lives. Because those who rise before dawn to seek the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the ones who will never be left in the dark.